Decider, decider, decider. When I first saw the 5 attachments, I thought, like, I wonder, because, you know, and I do appreciate it. Sometimes you guys send me anti-spoilers, you know, just some random attachment, some random replay from a game on the ladder or whatever, which is appreciated because I do like to not know what the outcome of a game is going to be. Crimson Tide. I do like to find out as I watch it. Yeah. Anyway, who's gonna win? Can't tell, can you? You just, there's no way of knowing. Absolutely no way of knowing. It is 2 apiece. We are best of 5. So let's see what sort of build we're gonna get. By and large, there's been more variety in supervv's builds than in Wyrm's. We have had a couple of games though where Wyrm has gone Phoenix, but never really to significant effect. I don't think I've seen any sort of Phoenix ball in a mineral line actually doing damage. So, but that, to be fair, has partially been because the Phoenix have ended up having to defend or whatever. But also, I think it's always been single Stargate Phoenix. I haven't seen a committed double Stargate Phoenix. So aside from that, Wyrm's build has generally been Gateway Nexus, Sidecore, Gateway Robo Bay. supervv, on the other hand, we have seen mass cyclones. Which was pretty effective. We've seen 1-base builds. We've seen more standard builds. We've seen 3 racks Reaper, which was not great. We've even seen, I mean, Rush to Thor, it was a bit late, wasn't it? But we have seen even a Thor push and a mech thing, which was a bit weird. So certainly variety. So we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen. Wyrm, this Nexus about half done, so slightly ahead of the command center on the other side of the map, but nothing very radical. This worker though, oh no, okay, the shift click. Oh, that's a shame. I was really hoping to see pylon, Stargate, shield battery. That's what I was hoping for. But no, that's not what it's going to be. Reaper's going to come in. He's going to find himself a worker. Oh, the Stalker is a long way off. So first worker goes down. Might have saved it if it had gone into the gas, but you know, it still would have been very, very weak. And you need to pull different workers. These ones are already taking hurt. You know, so generally the way you deal with that Reaper, I like to split the mineral line up into 3. Control group them 1, 2, 3, and it's 1 A click and then 1 right click onto the minerals, 2 A click, 2 right click, 3 A click, 3 right click, so that you're constantly like switching which workers are attacking the Reaper, and the time frame is roughly the time for the workers that have returned to the minerals to do an entire mineral run or whatever, and you generally don't lose a worker. Not to a single Reaper. I mean, you might, but the key with that is, you know, if you use the control groups and you don't overthink it, you don't sort of spend a lot of your APM in dealing with the Reaper. And what you're hoping is that your opponent does spend a lot of their APM trying to keep their Reaper alive. Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal, because, you know, because we're not pros, and with the best will in the world, it is difficult to micro a Reaper on the other side of the map and have your macro as good as it should be. Difficult. Yeah. Now, with that said, supervv has done a pretty good job here. We've got 3 racks done. We've got the starport at 4 minutes rather than 8 minutes. We've got STVs building, and workers. The worker count is actually even. Although I didn't think. Oh wow! What? That Reaper got 5 worker kills? What? How? What the hell? Yeah, that shouldn't be happening. That just shouldn't be happening. So it is a single Stargate Phoenix again. And yeah, okay. You know, I prefer an Oracle first. certainly against Terran, because the Oracle is almost certainly going to get 2 or 3 worker kills as a general rule, and then the reveals can just be so useful, chucking out reveals left and right. And if you suspect that there's going to be something incoming, the odd time bomb is also pretty good. Now Phoenix against Liberator, 1 Phoenix isn't quite going to cut it, but if you've got a couple of Phoenix, they will clean up the Liberator pretty handily. I think a Liberator wins a one-on-one fight against a Phoenix, doesn't it? Pretty sure. I don't know. I don't know for definite. I don't think I've ever fought a Liberator with a single Phoenix. Tends to be like 5 Phoenix or something like that, and then it's pretty much easy pickings. Just remember to keep moving past it, otherwise it does that kind of splash damagey thing, doesn't it? And you don't want your Phoenix all clumped up taking hits. Anyway, the Phoenix are on the other side of the map. Luckily, the Liberator is doing literally nothing. Super V's attention, presumably somewhere else where... okay. Oh, right. Double eBay coming down. 2 more barracks coming down. So this Liberator, I don't know. Is it ever going to do stuff? Maybe he's waiting for this to be saturated. I'm not sure. Phoenix, you kind of need 5 of them. 5, 6 Phoenix is the right number. Once you've got like 5, 6 of them, but look, it hasn't been continuous production. Once you've got 5 or 6 of them, you can come in, lift a worker and the other Phoenix, one-shot it. So 5, while you've got 3 of them, it takes a couple of shots. 3, in fact, to kill a worker. Whereas if you've got 6 Phoenix, obviously, one shot, bam, and you can chew through a mineral line ever so quickly with that. So 3, okay, it's going to be slightly annoying, but it's not going to get heavy damage done. Now this Liberator still kind of parked here. I'm kind of curious about that. It's double Robo, and with the Robo Bay, presumably we're going to see Colossus coming out. Colossus are very expensive, and trying to pump double Colossus off 2 base isn't really feasible. Because Colossus on their own just aren't that good. You need a meat shield in front of them. You need your charge lots out the front. Phoenix Colossus can be effective, can be potent, but yeah, it's quite micro intensive, and ideally you want Phoenix Colossus Prism so you can lift and juggle your Colossus as well. But it looks like we're going to find out what beats what very, very soon, how much of Wyrm's supply is in those Phoenix, because in a straight up fight against Marines, Phoenix are not that good. Now, when is Wyrm going to find out about this? When is he going to realize that stuff is up? I could have sworn he had an observer. He does, it's here. And that is not where you want your observer to be. If this observer was out in the corners, okay, it's going to be a big drop. This is actually going to be a bit hurtful. Would have liked to see the low ground tank in here, but the side core is going to go down very, very quickly indeed. The Phoenix lifting the 2 tanks is nice. And with the Colossus, but look how many of these Stalkers aren't shooting. The Zealots are doing literally nothing. The Phoenix finally got dropped. This one's got no energy. It is going to be a cleanup, and he will be able to chase this medevac down. So all things considered, and the tank is dead as well with a lift. There we go. You do need to shoot it though. You do need to shoot it. So yeah, Wyrm has a lot of money in the bank and not a significant... Kill the tank. Come on. Not a significant army advantage. Income pretty even. Both of these players comfortably on 3 bases. So income fairly even. You would expect the Terran to be ahead with the mule drops, and you can see that spike happening there in the mineral income right now. This base, of course, not saturated yet. So now that we're up to 5 Phoenix, these Phoenix can be pretty irritating. Yeah, so a solid hold in the end. Where's the new side core? There's no new side core. What's building, Wyrm? Idle, 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 idle. What are we building? Build some stuff, man. Build some stuff. We're 1-1. Charge is done. Never seems to get blink. The Phoenix are coming in to have another poke, and that is fantastic. So yeah, Wyrm's position here is pretty good, but he does need to ramp up his production. He's building up. Look at this gas bank. That is like just worrying me. So yeah, the forges start now with chrono, but you know they could have been running 30 seconds ago. There's no gas being mined here. Oh, all the gas, please, all the gas. There is gas being mined here now. So yeah, what's the plan, Wyrm? A fourth base, or you know? Such a defensive player, just does like to stay at home until he's ready to push. But I really want to see these production facilities operational. I want to see them doing stuff. I wouldn't hate seeing a couple of disruptors as well, so that if supervv comes pushing in, you can really mess with somebody's micro. I mean, to be honest, it's pretty rare that you get the absolute dream disruptor hit. It's harder to do than storms. It definitely is. Your opponent can see them coming, they can dodge them. Storms you can't. You know, storms just hit. Yeah, what are these Phoenix doing? They're going to snipe a couple of okay, yeah, you know, yeah, they were kind of backed into a corner here, and arguably the way out was just dead space and recall. Sniping a couple of Vikings for 5 Phoenix, that hurts. Vikings are pretty cheap, Phoenix aren't. So now that the Phoenix are gone, there's no tank lifts to be had, but disruptors, as I was saying, you rarely get the money hit. It doesn't often happen, but what it does do is it forces your opponent to micro away. Now this is not the way you want your Marines to engage, but my goodness, this choke, no, it's horrible, it's horrible. Pull back from there, and if only you had blink, you could come down here, snipe this, and just blink away from it, and you wouldn't have any issues. The Phoenix, oh my god, what's happening? Why are the Colossus at the front, dude? No! No! Why are you even down there? No! Oh, Wyrm absolutely throws it. That's the most... Get off the ramp! Why are we on the ramp? He doesn't have any ranged units, he's out of stalkers, he doesn't have a side core because he never rebuilt it. The Colossus, for reasons God only knows, were on the low ground with a world of Marines with all the zealots behind them on a ramp. It's despicable. Where are the Templars? Storm isn't researched yet. This is GG. Like, you can't win this with these zealots. The only way these zealots can engage is if you wait for your opponent to come up the ramp. Walking down there into 4 siege tanks? No. I mean, the Prism can maybe do something. A quick fly around the back. A double lift. You do have 2 Phoenix. Has got potential. But my goodness, this wraparound is so weak now. You had so much before. So, is he going to get a clean up here? Is he? There's more stuff coming in. I'm not sure if Wyrm has enough. These Colossus, again, just walking forward. This time, though, they do have the zealots under them, but is there enough to kill the Vikings? I feel if the Vikings push forward, what actually shoots them? 2 stalkers and a Phoenix? I don't know. supervv on the retreat, but I feel like he could have pressed the issue there and sniped himself a couple of Colossus. You know, I will swap Colossus for an awful lot of Marines if I have to. Marines are cheap and quick to build. What's in the production tab? A single Marauder, a single siege tank, a couple of Vikings. No units for Wyrm. Again, no units building. 1 Colossus, 1 Immortal. Please tell me he's rebuilt the side core. He still hasn't. No freaking side core. And where are... Look, you've got perfectly good Templar archives here. Storms could just be so crushing here. Now if he gets a good engage, maybe this goes okay. Has got zealots on top of the siege tank. Why are we pulling back? What he doesn't have is enough stuff to deal with these Vikings, and they are going to clean up. You know, in a single warp-in round of stalkers would have been enough to deal with the Vikings. Now this is pretty deep penetration. The stalkers are in on top of the production here, but it's everything segmented now, and you know, with defender's advantage, surely the Terran's going to hold this. There's siege tanks coming down. He's pulled the workers, and we've killed a command center. I will have a peek in a minute at how many units have been lost, but I don't know. I don't know. This Immortal, so sad. I don't know. Wyrm's got nothing left. And it's such a different fight if you have just a handful of Stalkers, or if you've warped in some Templars and you've got a handful of Archons, then those Vikings get nothing done, and you've still got your Colossus. And if you've still got your Colossus, these Marines just are so squishy, so delicate. Now there's Archons, but you know, Archons, do they even fit through that gap? I'm not sure they do. And this is where a couple of disruptor balls can just make so much difference. I think Wyrm has lost too much. Everything's coming in segmented here. The Archons fighting the siege tanks is gonna clean them up, and that is good, but you know, not if we lose all the Archons, it isn't. So what are we down to? 24 army supply against 100. There's no way to hold this. And honestly, Wyrm could have won this game, but it's not happening now. Too many times there were not units in production, no side core replacement, and just nothing that shoots up. So Vikings were just able to wreck the Colossus. So you can't really get enough value out of those Colossus. It is going to be GG. There just isn't anything left. We're down to a single warp kit. You know, okay, there's 2 Colossus in production, but look how Marauder rich this is. There's this many Vikings. How many? 10 Vikings. That's just going to essentially one-shot Colossus. It isn't enough. I don't know, mistakes were made on both sides, to be fair, but more on Wyrm's side than Super V's. Yeah, so it's GG. My goodness, it was close. It was a close game. But you know, it's over. The Terran is still comfortably mining off 3 bases. Protoss has got this that they can't even get to. You know, here come the Vikings, and what is there that shoots up? Literally nothing. So, you know, these Colossus are going to go down without firing a shot. Not really any point running. And yeah, I can't help but feel that the failure to rebuild the side core was arguably the biggest issue here. Because Blink Stalkers just negate that. GG. On to the finals then. It's going to be Super V, Super W, Super VV versus Grey Raven. The final will be happening Thursday after half term. It will be live. It will be in Whaaaaaat Wilds. At least we'll be watching it in Whaaaaaat Wilds. The players will be in separate rooms elsewhere. So we'll be on FW. I will be casting it live, possibly with the help of Crimson Tide. We'll see how that goes. Time being, GG.